right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to Growth Mindset. Make sure you type in the chat bar who you are, where you're from. I'm sure more people will be logging in as we go through this, but I rather start right on time right here and get kicking if it's okay with you. So I'm going to share my screen. What's up, Stephen, Dwayne, what's happening? Matt, what's going on? Nice to see everybody here tonight. And we got some work to do. So the way we're going to go about this, no matter what time it is, where you're at, if it's daytime or nighttime, is as I'm sharing things, I want to make sure that in the chat bar, I'm talking with you and not at you. If that's cool, can you all find the chat bar and type in cool? We're here for growth mindset. And since we're talking about growth mindset, I want to make sure as I'm saying things and it's impacting you, or you're learning something, or you all of a sudden think about something, well, I want you then to type that in the chat bar, like, whoa, you just said this, it's making me think of that. That's going to be the best way that we can interact together to make this a really powerful, powerful session. Now, we won't go longer than 90 minutes. Okay, so that's approximately an hour and a half. If you're cool, will you hang with me for 90 minutes? Type in 90 if you'll hang in there. I find out that a lot of people are actually, they have all kinds of reasons not to attend things, complete things. And I found out as many reasons as they have excuses. So let's not keep no excuses. Let's stay in till the finish line here. Let's learn to grow together. Let's grow together. And let's make sure we make some huge change here. Okay. Let's not worry about copyright. So just a little formal notice here, just so you know, this training is a life training to help you enhance your life and get results in all areas of your life. This is not a business training. So if you came here for marketing, sales, operation, or systems, wrong place. I have another business that you could go to for that. If you need that type of stuff, just hit me up and I would be honored to direct you to another resource. Now, let me break down a little bit here of as we get started here, is a couple things. One, let's talk about focus. Okay, focus. I realize that when you're going through a training, especially through these virtual trainings, you can get so distracted so quickly, right? You're on your laptop or your phone, and then there might be family trying to get in touch with you, and then your Facebook's popping up and your Instagram and all these things. Let's use this as not only part training for our mind, part about training our mind is to train it to focus on what's happening right now, okay? And along with focus, we have the art of being present, okay? The art of being present right now. So if you'll be present right now, can you type in present? Because I don't want this to be great information or education. I want to show you implementation right now. Implement it. Let's put this stuff right in place right now. Now, our agenda, we got a great agenda. We're going to talk about mindset, and I'm going to give you all kinds of new framing here around this. We're going to talk about how it's formed. And you know what the cool thing about that is that the interesting thing about mindset is no matter how many times you talk about it, think about it, learn about it, you're constantly growing. You're constantly growing, and you're constantly making new connections that's moving you into a higher level of thinking process. So I pride myself when I'm doing a training is to go like this. When I hear things, I don't go, I know that, and maybe write a note about this. I don't say I know that. I say, I wonder what I don't know yet. Okay. When people say, oh, I know that, they completely shut down their thinking, and then there's no growth. This is just a fun time together, but there's no expansion. If they say, I know that, but I wonder what I don't know yet. Now our brain, we start seeking, right, for new wisdom. If it's also cool with you, we'll talk about how to think. We're going to talk about how to think differently, okay? How do we think just a little bit differently than maybe a bunch of the world? And if you think you're already a different thinker, can you just type in the chat bar, I'm different? I could tell you're already different, because if you weren't a different thinker, you wouldn't be here. Because if you were thinking the same as everyone else, you'd probably just be sitting, maybe watching the news or something, right? We'll also talk a little bit about dealing with setbacks. And if you've ever dealt with a setback before, something that kind of like you're moving forward and all of a sudden it feels like the polarity's pulling you back, can you type in dealing? It seems like as 2021 goes on, well, we know 2022 was just fun and interesting. 2021 was wild. And as we squeeze going into this 2022, it feels like part is polarity pulling us back, but part our mind wants to go forward. We'll deal with that a little bit. And so that's going to be a little bit about our agenda. Now, I never want to make assumptions that anybody knows who I am. So if it's cool with you, I'll talk quick about myself. And then if you don't know anything about me or you want to learn more, the team will type in, we got some resources, go find out more about me, okay? All I do is need to make a framework. If we're talking about mind growth here, is one, I know exactly probably where you're at, right? Because if you look at this, like, I know what it's like to work really, really hard and have my mind saying, are you doing the right thing? Is it moving you forward? I know what it's like to work hard young. I know what it's like to be confused. I know what it's like to be young and married, right? So the framework is, I want you to know I'm not talking about something that I didn't experience. This was built as I was building this. I was thinking about like what happened in the past and what's happened in the present. And then how do I think in the future? And I want to give you an advantage that it took me decades to get. And here's what I did differently. And a lot of you that are in my world, you know that I've done things differently. One, I'm a master of study, a master of mastery, and a master of questing. What is the next connection I don't have? And finding that person, resource, thing to help me with that connection. That's me just studying, working. And that's not a hairdo. That's me running my fingers through my hair, probably for hours, sitting there going like, what do I need to see? Can you write that down on your paper? What do you need to see tonight? What do you need to, because whatever you're not getting in life is because you're not willing to see something. You're not willing to see something. Now, a lot of people don't know. They know that I know a little bit about mind stuff, but they don't realize, like, down here, his name was Kiyama. A lot of people don't know that I've been doing mindset in the world of the mind, enhancing the mind, challenging the mind, pushing the mind for over 3 decades now. I'm level 51, and I've been doing it full time in that world since level 15. So it's over 3 decades that I've been focusing on, like, what the hell did I do different? And I wish that 2 decades ago, someone said, watch this, see this, look at this. I didn't have that. And by doing that, it put me around a lot of really, really smart people like Jay Abraham, Brian Kurtz. And it also, by doing this, put me on some huge stages, talking to thousands of people. But it's all part of, like, what got me there. That's what I'm going to share a lot. And then what is the outcome? There's a cool quote. Aaron will probably write it in the chat bar, more exact than I'm saying it, but they say most people, and write this down, most people overestimate what they can do in a month and underestimate what they can do in a decade. Most people overestimate what they try to do in a month and underestimate what they could do in a decade. And I've proven that because in under a decade, I have built and exited a very huge and successful service company. A lot of people know that, called Gold Medal Service. I have built a movement and created another deal in CEO Warrior, and I created one of the largest training and implementation organizations on the planet and changed an industry, hands down. And I've also built personal wealth by this. Ready? I'm going to give you a secret sauce. Type in secret sauce in the chat bar if you want secret sauce. Secret sauce to building personal wealth is building your personal mind. Building personal wealth is building your personal mind. And here's my beautiful family and my amazing, beautiful wife there. And that's a picture right down the road from us at the Jersey Shore. So, and those of you that might be new, in case you don't know, again, I'm going to go through it really quick. If you want more, somebody on our team will put in a couple links for you. We have some really cool stuff. We have Unlocking the Wealth Code. I'll talk a little bit about that coming up. We did trainings about One Life, Seekers of Power, Change the Channel. And we have this cool ass thing called the Freedom Tribe, where we work with people one-on-one to help give them the greatest chance ever at human potential in their relationship. And if anybody on here has attended any of those trainings, if you do me a favor and just write in there what you attended and what it's like to be in the world and attend the training. Maybe some of your results that would be awesome if you did that. Now, I do need to read the disclaimers. This is just for protection. So you could just sit there and stare at me friendly for 2 minutes, or you could pay attention because maybe there's some kind of disclaimer you should have in your own life. So by watching this training, you're agreeing to the following professional advice disclaimer. FuDog Group teaches personal life insights only. FuDog Group does not provide any business, legal, financial, medical, or professional advice, and attendees should consult their own lawyer, accountant, doctor, and or financial professional for relevant advice. Nothing contained in this training program should be construed as professional, legal, accounting, medical, therapeutic, or financial advice. In addition, no representation whatsoever is made regarding the results to be achieved from participating in the program or through the use of the program materials or confidential information. What that says is we're not guaranteeing anything, and you need to go talk to the attorneys and lawyers and stuff. Okay, but we do have a massive results disclaimer. And if you like massive results, can you type in massive results in the chat bar? And Dwayne, thank you for that in the chat bar. Appreciate that. Massive results disclaimer. FuDog Group only provides insights. You apply it. Therefore, FuDog Group is not responsible for your massive success and growth in all areas of your life, including but not limited to a better relationship with your spouse and children, more wealth, a more successful career, greater impact to serve others in the community and the world, a significant legacy, improved mental and physical health and wellness, a constant quest for knowledge, wisdom, and improvement, and a greater overall sense of fulfillment in all aspects of life. FuDog Group is not responsible if you start getting up earlier, enjoy a more active and enriching day, live more productively, smile a lot more, and feel amazing, all while making better choices. FuDog Group is not responsible for turning you into a superhuman who squeezes the most rewarding experience out of every moment while living your best life ever. And if you want the best life ever, type in best life ever, please. Type in best life ever. Okay, now we can get to work, everybody. We can get to work. So first, let's talk about here. There's pretty much four truths about life here, okay? And the first truth, and you'll write some notes and my team will help you in the chat bar, because since we have limited time, I'm going to move really, really quick for all of you. All right. Here's the 4 truths about life. You've heard it said, you're either growing or you're dying. But the truth is this: if you're not growing, and this might sound a little crude, so don't hold it against me, I feel like if you're not growing, you're already dead. Why? Because what happens is you're not improving. And if you're not moving forward, it starts to rewind. If your mind is not growing, it stays stuck and it starts reversing itself. Do any of you have a friend that is not growing personally in their life, and their life is starting to unravel and unwind on them? Is this happening at all? Type in chat bar yes or unwind. Have you experienced this at all? Yeah, and you sit back and you watch it and you go, oh my goodness, they don't realize what's happening. Their life is starting. I guess it's just me and my wife. Okay, a bunch of you, Stacy. And maybe for some of you, life is unwinding some. And you're sitting here going, I don't know why. I thought I know things and I'm wise. You got to understand, the brain is a supercomputer that wants to keep growing and learning. And it doesn't want to just learn random stuff. It wants to learn that you're helping your brain become a more efficient and proficient vehicle. Okay, so number 1, growing or dying. Okay, we'll just put it here, growing or dying, right? Number 2, the world tells us to focus on results. But there are many people who are successful but unhappy. And you don't hear that often. Success, not happy. You guys tell me, do you know anybody that's successful and not happy? I had a couple really great experiences because I've spoken on a whole bunch of stages. They have this thing that happens. It's called the green room, Jennifer Kirby. They make you feel like fancy. They're like, you'll be up soon speaking, head to the green room, right? It's just a room with like some chips and water. It's nothing amazing, right? And when you're in the green room, though, you're in there, Dwayne, with all the other famous speakers. And they're talking about their life. And what they say in the green room and what happens on stage is 2 different things. On stage, they tell you, oh, I got a fancy watch and a fancy car and a fancy boat, and I fly in fancy planes. Behind closed doors in the green room, they're like, my wife hates me, my kids don't talk to me, and I'm losing my home. And that was a big awakening for me to go, holy shit. Successful people does not mean happy people. If you can relate to that, type in relate in the chat bar. Number 3 is this. The greater life is not about being successful. It's about finding a sense of purpose. Now, living within your highest values, we're going to talk about that, and serving others and stretching yourself. The results will come from that. Now, a lot of people, they're not serving, they're greedy. Now, greedy is an interesting term because some people might say, well, you took a lot of candy, you're greedy. It's not that type of greedy. We're talking about, it's all about me and I don't care about others. No, please don't record this, but we're going to upload it for you, Stephen. We'll get it to you. Okay, we'll get it to you. I promise you. So my team will tag it. We'll make sure we get it. This way we can control the recording and we do some edits. And I never know, Stephen, if I say something that's totally inappropriate. So I'd rather, if I could just deliver it to you the way I can here, and in case I get wild and crazy, we'll just pull the wild and crazy out. But we'll make sure you got all the good stuff. Okay, we'll get all the good stuff there. All right, number 4, your mind is the ultimate force. Write it down, everybody. The ultimate force to get you where you want to go. But you need to harness its power correctly. Force, power. Now, you tell me if this is correct. I bet you went to school and college and they said, let's teach you how to harness the ultimate force inside your mind so you could harness its power. Did that happen to you? Yes or no? Did they teach that to you in college and high school and vocational school? Like, no, they did not want you to learn that you have this ultimate force because, well, if you have a whole bunch of people running around with the ultimate force and know how to harness their power, it's tough to control people like that. Now, I'm going to read this, but I'm not going to write it. My team will dump it in there for you. Is I want to give you the definition of mind. And I know I'm going quick, but as things pop in on you, I expect you to put it in the chat bar. Now, the mind definition, right? The internal processes that enable a human to think, imagine, remember, and interact in a situation. It's a vehicle to create unlimited results that expand beyond space and time. Beyond space and time. I want you to think about that definition. Thank you, Aaron, stuck it in the chat bar for you there. And maybe you can take a little snapshot of that or copy that. And maybe reflecting on this over tonight or the next couple days can become mind expanding for you. But let's talk about this, everybody. And I know we're digging in deep. So if you guys have any, friends or family out there you want to throw the link to real quick, Aaron, maybe give them a link if they want to send it out to friends and family or something real quick. Because they're like, I didn't think this was going to be anything good, but I forgot it was the tattooed guy Mike on here, and it's all really good. So maybe people want to jump in. We still got a lot to go. All right. So now let's talk about mindset definition. Okay. Mindset definition. Mindset is a set of beliefs and thoughts which influence the way you handle every situation. It dictates your personality to help you sort out what's going on around you and what you should do about it. So if you look at these beliefs, influence, and handle situations, how many of you have little things that trigger you? Type in trigger. Like, you know what a trigger is, right? Like someone says something and you go, like, I could tell you one of mine. Like if you ever, and I'll say, like, if you ever want your finger broken, like point it in my face. I'm not sure where this trigger comes from, but if you walk up to me and go like this at me, there's a good chance I'm gonna swipe that finger away. It's gonna snap in half in the air. Now it's a trigger, right? It's an uncontrollable response. It's a programmed response. It's just like if every time I try to go in a place and I don't let them do it, you shouldn't let them do it. And they take that temperature thing. You know, these people, Dwayne, they want to feel like they're Clint Eastwood. They pull out, you're walking in and they pull out that temperature thing like they're going to shoot you in the face. And every time someone goes like this, I go, no, check my wrist. Because if you shoot me in the face, I'm going to have to defend myself, right? So I don't let them shoot me in the face. Plus, it's bad putting a laser into what's called your pineal gland. So don't let people start getting you used to complying to a fake gun. Now, your mom told you, don't even fake pointing that finger at someone, but you let the world do it. So that's what happens with these influences that create these situations, okay? Now, trigger, questioning me like an interrogation, like, yeah, where were you? What time did you get home? Like, what time did you leave? And where it's like, whoa, I forgot, did I get taken hostage, right? Did I get taken hostage? All right, mind growth definition, mind growth. Now, mind growth is your expanding thoughts and beliefs that are no longer set in stone, but are growing and changing to see greater opportunities everywhere. I learned something and I want you to write it down. And it became more powerful for me. And I don't want to say more believable. I'm going to say more powerful is when all of a sudden I figured it out. To 10x anything in your life, 10x your health, 10x your career, 10x your relationship, 10x your spiritual connection, You must 20x yourself. Boom. Type in boom in the chat bar, please. Type in boom in the chat bar. And people think, well, wait a second. Do I 20x myself reading one book? Do I meditate to 20x myself? Do I sign up for a program? Look, it's everything and anything, but it's never one thing and it never ends. And I know that, and I can only talk about this now, Stacy, because it's over 3 decades that I've been fixing, tweaking, improving, programming, changing, releasing, and getting results. That's what I want to talk to you more about today. So we're going to dig in here, and everyone else that just joined on, welcome everybody. Welcome. So that right there is our mind growth. Now, were those 3 definitions very helpful? Can you type in helpful if it was very helpful for you? Was it mind expanding for you to look at the 3 things of mind, mindset, and mind growth? Because I've never broken it out that way before. But then again, we don't just do a training about life and just pull some crap out of some YouTube thing. We go back and we look at, like, how did we get from where we were to here, and what were the dots we connected? And the big reason why you're here, everybody, is because the biggest number 1 question is, if you, knowing what you know now, what would you tell me how to be so I could have different than you? Right? That's what you want. Now, let's talk about this. Okay, let's put it together. Now, draw a little triangle on a piece of paper. Go ahead. So here's what we have. On the bottom, we have mindset formation. Mindset formation. Mindset formation is how your mindset is formed, okay? We'll talk about these in a moment on how it's formed. Like, where did it come from? What sources? What places, right? Now, the mindset formation, the next one is this. It's thoughts and beliefs. Okay, it's thoughts and beliefs. This is your actual mindset, your thoughts and beliefs about a situation. Okay, this is your programming, is your thoughts and beliefs. Your thoughts and beliefs are created from your mindset formation. I want to simplify this. I know there's a lot of people in the world, and they're going to try to overcomplicate it and talk to you about all these hypnosis and NLP and all this fancy language and stuff. I just want to make it simple. Something created some formation in your mind that created a thought and belief. Those thoughts and beliefs have some form of emotions attached to it. This is how we feel. Our mindset wants us to feel comfortable and whole. That does not mean when you're crying, hysterical, angry, furious, breaking things, creating things, that your mind thinks it's not whole. As long as it, Dwayne, is doing the program that was set, the mind feels whole. If you were taught rage as a kid and you rage all the time, that's your emotion. Your mind goes, okay, he's raging. He's whole. Now, that may not want to be the beliefs you want, and it may not want to be the emotions you want either. And then these things normally come with a sense of actions. Now, this is how we act in the world as a result of our thoughts and beliefs and emotions. Now, you could argue that the emotions are part action, but the emotion on the inside is the force that creates the action on the outside. Let me say it again. The emotions on the inside, you start to go, program, sad, angry, furious, hate, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden your lip quivers, your eye tears, and all of a sudden some form of physical action or action forward starts to happen. This here is the most simplistic to understand your mindset. And we're going to talk about how to shift all this stuff. If we're cool right now, can you type in cool? Does this make sense? Because if you could stop a moment and go, wait a minute, am I fighting with my wife because I want to fight with my wife or my husband, or am I fighting because I have a mindset formation when I was a kid? When I was a kid, this is what I watched my dad or my mom do. And it formed a thought or belief of this is how I should be. And when that happens, and my mom questions my dad or my dad questions my mom, the emotion should be fury and the action should be break down the doors and yell and scream. Has anybody, and you can be transparent, family here, has anybody experienced like some shit being broken in their house as a young kid, or no? I see some heads nodding a little bit. Some of you know. Like there was never a coffee mug thrown across the thing. Okay, we got a lot of yeses here. Okay, so some of you can relate and some of you don't want to think about it because you're going to have like you got trauma or something from it. That's okay. Let's keep digging in here. Let's dig in. So now let's break it down here. How your mindsets are formed. Now we have let's put two simplistic references of time. We have a past and we have a present, right? We have a past and we have a present. We also have a external influence and an internal influence, right? Make this little grid real quick. Go ahead, everybody. Go ahead. So our mindsets are shaped by internal and external influences in the past and the present, right? We do not have a lot of control over the past external and internal influences. And I'm going to break these out for you what they are. We have some control over the present external influences, and we have a lot of control over the present internal influences. Let's do some here. Let's look at what is a past external influence. Well, I mean, parents, right? Or whoever you were brought up around. I bet they had a big external influence on you. You modeled their behavior. They said what to do, what not to do. Then you have teachers, right? You have teachers. These are an external past influence. You have friends. Does anybody have a friend from the past that was a bad external influence? Raise your hand. If you were that friend, raise your hand. Thank you, Natasha and Dwayne. And then you have religion or religious leaders, right? They were a past external influence. So then what is the internal influences from the past? Well, this is your attitudes, right? You're pretty sure that's spelled wrong, but let's not worry about spelling right now. Okay, so your attitudes, beliefs, right? Beliefs, emotions, right? Emotions. We'll fix it because I know my brain will keep thinking about it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have our attitudes, our beliefs, and our emotions. These are the internal influences, like how we were feeling then in the past. And here's something you may or may not know, but every single thing that happened to you, feel, touch, sound, taste, all of this, hear, anything that happened on any of the sensory levels, and there's some levels we won't even talk about today, like energy levels, it's all sitting there in a storage bank for you. And it's just saying, tell me when to act like this now. Tell me when to do like this. Now we have the present, right? So let's look at some of the present external influences. Well, this seems to be a big one today. You tell me if family's more interesting today than it was 3 years ago. I bet it is, because now a lot of family tells you, well, you should think this way, or you should feel this way, or you should get that thing, or you shouldn't get that thing. And you're sick, you should do this thing. And if you're not sick, you should do that thing. And now all of a sudden, I bet some of you, you might be level 40 or 50 years of wisdom, or 60, but your mom's really telling you what to do now. Has anybody got a mom or dad like really telling them what to do? And you're like, holy crap, like I thought I like grew up from this thing. And they're like, no, don't go there. Don't do that. Don't take that thing. Do take that thing, right? So you have this present external. You have the media, right? Hail to the media, right? They're telling you how to feel, think, act, believe, and everything's true. As long as you believe it's true, we will not do you wrong. Channel 7 or 4 or 2 or whatever, right? And then you have this present external influence, right? You have these commitments and responsibilities, right? You have these responsibilities of like, people need me to do things and think of things, and I'm responsible for things. There could even be some genetics here, right? There could be some genetics in the present creating an external influence. You got to know your past, external, internal, and you got to know your present. And then we'll start putting a puzzle together that we could create any life that you desire. Now, what's the internal influences that are present today? Well, probably similar, right? Like attitudes. Let me ask you a question. Attitudes. Do you think people have more of an attitude today or less of an attitude? Genetics could be, Stephen, like something physically on the body, right? It could be the way the body is functioning. It could be something that's present and external as much as a twitch or anything like that. Now, all of a sudden, it seems like a little more attitude from everybody, right? Your mask is on, your mask is off. Should you do this? Don't do that, right? And this now has launched a little more intensive beliefs. You're being challenged probably on your beliefs more than ever before. And you tell me this, emotions. Are people way more emotional or less emotional? Well, let me answer it for you. If anxiety is through the roof, Dwayne, I would put states of anxiety as state of emotions, right? And just so you know, most of this anxiety stuff, which is very painful for a lot of people, tough to deal with, it is a constant state of triggering between past and present, external and internal. And if people understand that, let's think about this whole thing about it. And most people have some form of anxiety. Their anxiety is normally about a future that never happened based on a programming of a past that did. I got hurt or sick. Like I had, I'll say in case this ends up on YouTube, we'll abbreviate it. I had the big C thing, right? You know that thing that's going around? The CD, right? The second level thing. And so like a lot of people that have this, they go, man, I got walloped by that thing. No, I am afraid to go there. I don't want to get walloped again. So you're like, you want me to be there, and I get at this heightened level of emotions that go through the roof, and then it creates anxiety. And then instead of understanding this, everybody, like if anybody has anxiety, I would want to teach them how it happens, why it happens, and what you're really dealing with here. Then we can make, a professional could tell you, or a lot of times people can do it self. You can make yourself new decisions to change this. It's not about controlling it. It's about, and maybe write this down. It's not about controlling things. It's about understanding things, right? With the mind, it's not about controlling it. It's about understanding it. So do you guys type in for me so that I know, what is your big takeaway right here from number 2? The past, the present, the external, and the internal. If you were to summarize it in a couple words for me, what do you think is what's impactful for you there? And then we're going to go to types of mindsets here. Boom, you can control what you understand. You sure to hell have a lot better chances of controlling what you understand than somebody trying to tell you you can't control it, so let's sedate it, right? It's probably, and I'm not saying you should be or shouldn't be on medication stuff. I would never do that. I don't have the doctorate degree to prescribe the, to support the, what's happening in the pharmaceutical world. That's not what I do. But I do understand this. When you understand how the brain works, you get to make new brain decisions. Write that down. When you understand how the brain, the mind, and all this works, it's taken me 3 decades to learn all this stuff. And trust me, I'm not perfect. If you want to talk, like my wife and I were talking with somebody about it not long ago, the time where, and I'm not saying, okay, now listen, I'm not saying I'm proud of this, Ray. I'm just saying it happened. The time I kicked a shelf off the wall was not one of my proudest moments, but I did kick the shelf off the wall, right? I did not understand what my mind was doing. I didn't understand the difference between that set mindset is the ability of that's the only way it could be. I want you to be clear of that. When you tell somebody, just change your mindset, they're like, what do you mean? It's the only way it could be. It's the only way I know how to be. If everybody knew how to change the sets of programs in their mind, everybody would be living the exact desired life that they want. Okay, let's go. Let's keep going here. Number 3, types of mindset. Now, there's a fixed mindset, and this is what you call mind set, right? It's fixed. It ain't moving nowhere. Some people you meet, they go, that's the way I've always been. That's the way I'm always going to be. And I say, congratulations. If it's working for you, stay that way forever. Most people, it does not work that way. There's normally some kind of internal or external consequence of that. Do you know anybody who lived in a state of rage and they died very young? Do you? I mean, I know people that lived pretty happy and died young too, but I'll tell you more of them that died, there's a consequence. I just said to somebody today that was sick. He said, I got a sinus thing. I said, you got a stress thing. And it turned into a sinus thing because I know the guy's situation. I said, that's what you got. You have a stress thing that turned into a sinus thing. That's fixed. Okay. Now, mind growth. Mind growth. And I'm going to break out what these are. Okay. Mind growth is the ability for you tonight. Type in if only, but don't bullshit me, please. Only if you feel it's happening. If you feel that you're getting a new sense of mind growth right now, your brain's expanding to a place it was not before, type in mind growth. I hope it is. Otherwise, I'm not doing a good job for you, but I promise I'm going to work hard to do a really good job for you. Starting to? Good. Okay. Let's look at mind growth, right? Optimism, right? Abundance. Write this down, everybody. Everything I'm writing here is just a word until it becomes true for you. Write it down, everybody. It's just a word until it becomes true for you, right? Possibility, productivity, right? Flexibility, exploration, service. It's all mind growth. What about fixed mindset? Okay, scarcity, right? Fear, inflexibility, right? Flight to safety, running to safety, right? So if you look at these here, they're just words till they become true. I mean, we have a lot of the world. Do you think the majority of the world today is living in abundance or scarcity? What do you guys think? Is the world living in abundance or scarcity? I mean, it's scarcity, right? If we weren't living in a world of scarcity, we wouldn't have people afraid that they wouldn't be able to buy toilet paper. You get that, right? Like, you know, if worse came to worse, like the very worst case scenario, you know, you could wipe your ass with a leaf if you had to. You got that, right? You do know that. Like, you could rip up an old sheet. Like, one sheet could probably handle it. I mean, crap. When we had kids, we used cloth diapers. So, I mean, you realize you're not going to have to walk around like smelling. You got that, right? But scarcity says, I better have it. And I think a lot of our parents taught us that. I don't know if my mom's on here. She was maybe going to be on here. It's like, okay, you guys answer the question. I'll tee it up. Ready? A snowstorm's coming. We must go get, what is it? Come on, Stacy's laughing. Go ahead. What is it? Some of you became like your mom. Eggs, milk, and bread. Because as long as you have eggs, you can eat protein. As long as you have milk, I guess you'll have calcium. And as long as you have bread, you can eat it or wipe your butt with the bread, right? Like, but, and if you have that, don't worry about if the heat goes out. If we got eggs, milk, and bread, we're good. So what does the news station do? Looks like people aren't buying. Tell them a fucking snowstorm's coming. Make Mike go out. Tell him it's going to be 3 foot. He buys the snowblower. It never snows. He's like, now I got a new snowblower for $2,000. It never snows, right? It's a great way. It's controlling the mind, right? Winter clothes, winter clothes. Okay, let's go for number 4 now. All right, number 4. Now, number 4, mind growth improves all areas of life, all areas. Now, if you try to do all areas at one time, you normally get none areas accomplished, right? You see, if you look at this, a fixed mindset, if you look at wealth, let's talk about wealth tonight. And a fixed mindset is my personal wealth, right? My personal wealth is not where I want it to be. However, I'm worried that anything I do will decline in value. It's better to have a little bit of cash and hope that things don't go down too much, right? Fixed mindset might say. Now, a growth mindset might say this: my personal wealth is not where I want it to be, but there are opportunities everywhere. I need to find something that makes sense for my life. I should get educated further and learn how to grow my wealth. Write this down. Wealth is a mind education. It's a mind education. It's a mind change. Now, it's not a mind change like, oh, I'm going to be wealthy and it all happens. No, it's a mind programming change. But I'm giving you, this is our FuDog life wheel here. And you just pick an area for you that you need to focus on. And what we do is let's grow our mind in that area. Let's grow our mind in that area. If that makes sense, tell me. And if there's something popping out to you on that wheel, type it in the chat bar, like what's popping out to you. Wealth is a mind expansion game. It's not a working game. Let me say it again. Wealth is a mind expansion game. It's not a working game. How do I know? Because I guarantee that there's somebody on here that their parents did not reach wealth, but worked themselves to death. Tell me if, type in true if that's true. Is it true? Or you know somebody. It's not a working game. Now, does that mean you don't do anything? No, it doesn't mean you don't do things. It means the number one thing you do is create mind growth. It's the number one thing you do. Okay, now let's talk about creating mind growth, okay? The way to do this is simply choose an area of your life. Now, I'm going to choose here because I know a lot of people, if they focus on the mind of wealth and finance, okay, if they focus on the mind of that, most people feel if they have financial security, they can create security in a lot of other areas. And it'd be hard for me to disagree on that some, because if you look at this, you know, if we have this wealth and finance and all of a sudden we get that figured out, well, if you had more money and you knew how to create it with your mind, yeah, I would probably say, you know, you could create the career and work you want, right? You could buy better food and hire better trainers. You probably can go places that you wanted to go and have more fun. You probably could create some different things in your home. You could contribute to the community. You probably could have some funds with friends and family. You might find ways to enhance your love life there. You could take more training. You could go to enhance your spirit. So wealth and finance will do that. Now, it will never override this health, because what do they say? Like, a man of 1,000 dreams with a health problem only has one dream, right? Solve his health problem. So health is important, but for someone that's healthy, wealth and finance can create a new mind catalyst for a lot in life. Now, let's look here at a fixed level of thinking when it comes to wealth finance, right? A fixed level is my investments. And I'm going to share something about investments in a minute. It just came to my mind. They're not doing well. So every single, this is going to be, I hope this, and I wasn't thinking about doing this because this is all about the mind, but the mind is wealth, the mind is health, the mind is spirituality, the mind's everything, right? If you think about investments, every single one of you are an investor. You actually are. You haven't thought of it that way. You thought it's like only people with the title that. You're actually an investor. You're investing in your relationship. When you eat something you shouldn't do, you're investing in some form of destruction if it's like really bad for you. And if you're eating something good, you're investing in a level of health for you. You're in a constant state of investing. When you get out of bed and you use the bathroom in the morning, you're investing in a healthy body, because if you held it, it would either hurt you or make a mess, right? You're a constant investor, investing in what you want or investing in what you don't want. Some people say, I don't have enough for retirement. And when they don't have enough for retirement, what they're saying is, I want to stop growing because I hate what I'm doing. You should write that down. Like, I want to stop growing because I hate what I'm doing. Like, why would anybody retire from something they love? Like, will you retire from your children? I didn't want to say wife, maybe your husband, maybe you'll retire from your wife or husband. I don't know, but like your kids, are you gonna retire from your kids? One day you're just going to be like, I'm done. I don't see you no more. I'm done doing anything. Like, you never retire from what you love. It's a programmed mind response for you guys, right? Or what about this? What happens if there's another recession? Right? What happens if there's another recession? This is a fixed mind, like, oh my God, I'd be scared. I told my wife just like a couple months ago, I said, don't worry, you'll never starve. I will literally cut off my left arm and feed you. I will. Like, we're not going to starve. Like, we won't. Like, drop us off, middle of the woods, middle of the world, naked with nothing. I start creating a village, right? It's just because I don't have that fixed mindset of suffering is mandatory. Maybe write that down. Suffering's not mandatory. It is a choice. It is a choice. Right? It is a choice. I have this card. I want to read. It's my favorite card. We have this special deck of cards. Me and my wife, we pick a card every day. And this is my favorite card. Natasha, you're going to love this. You ready for this, Natasha? It's my favorite card I keep pulling. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. Think about this. I am a spirit having a human experience. And I'm here to get closer to love. Love meaning, soul's purpose and stuff. It's very powerful when you think about things like this and you think about how stuck are you in fixed thinking, right? In fixed thinking. Like, what will happen if gas goes up? Right? Like someone's like, oh my God, I could go to Costco across town and get gas for 10 cents cheaper. You also could go to Costco and get crashed into by one of their stupid carts by someone who doesn't pay attention. And now you got a $3,000 repair in your car to save 10 cents a gallon. Or you could just go down the road and not get crashed into. Right? Like, it's just a new way of thinking. Now let's look at growth thinking here, everybody. Let's look at growth thinking. I can learn how to be an investor every day in my life. A life investor. Investing in experiences, investing in the love of their family, investing in the love of themselves. How many of you are not very good at loving yourself? Okay, thank you for your honesty, right? You're good at loving others, but at the sacrifice of yourself. Well, now after tonight, you're an investor of loving yourself, right? Or what about this? Growth mindset. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. My wife says that all the time. Easily and effortlessly, right? She's like one of the only people I know that walks on a big ass beach and then finds like a penny, and then like 20 minutes later, a nickel, and then 20 minutes later, something else. And like, because it's easy and effortlessly. In abundance, right? Here's another one, right? I love being generous, even if I don't have a ton. Like, I was generous when I was broke. I'm generous when I'm wealthy, right? It's a growth mindset. I think a lot of Italians, like, we're just used to feeding people. So I think a lot of us have been bred to be, any Italians here, type in Italian, like, you're bred to just like, even if you have nothing, you're going to split your, like, you'll never eat a sandwich and watch someone else sit next to you and have no food. And like, maybe it's not an Italian thing for everything, but it's a way for me, right? I will never sit under an umbrella and watch the person next to me in the rain. Either they got to fit under the umbrella or I shut the umbrella and we both get wet, right? Like, I'm going to connect that way. I'm going to serve in that way, right? This is all about the growth side of things. Now, you might say to yourself, Mike, I live in that way. Okay. How much do you live in that way? Is it 50-50? Is it 90-10? 60-40? What is it? And what if we can take it and move all these fixed things to here? Now, if you tell me you have only growth mindset, I'm pretty sure I ask a bunch of questions and we find out, well, my parents lived through, a famine and all this type of stuff. We go, okay, but did you carry that story into your story? Write this down as a question. What stories of other people did I carry into my story? What stories of other people did I carry into my story? Right? Like, your grandmother had to eat bread and rice. And you tell the story about your grandmother eating bread and rice like it's your story. So you create the suffering. But you don't eat. You eat steak and Whole Foods and all this stuff. All right. Type in, what did you take away from number 5 there? And then we're going for number 6. Got to keep this party moving here. I'll take a drink while you're typing in. Yeah, I'm waiting for everybody. Type one thing. Suffering is not mandatory. It's choice, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It is a choice. Yep. And most of the time, the suffering, just so you know, that you had, that you think is bad, is probably the greatest good. Like my biggest sufferings have created my greatest motivation. Anybody else? Now, some of it might have created your greatest pain. Let me give you something I learned about the mind. The minute you turn your greatest pain into your greatest motivation, you will create things that people only dream about. Write that down. The minute you turn your biggest suffering into your greatest motivation, you will create things that the world, like people would only dream about. Okay, so now how your mind redefines all the pain created a monster, 100%. How your mind redefines your values. Okay, what are your values in life right now? Let's look at this. Some people's value, it's security, right? It's security. I want peace of mind and not to worry about bills. Be transparent with me. How many of you would just love financial security? Type it in the chat bar. Type in $signs if you want. I think a lot of people would. I'm going to tell you, it's not harder. It's not as hard as you think. And please, what I'm going to share, I don't want to be one of these people talking about you like you're not on here because I'm bragging to you about shit I did. I'm not impressed with what I did. Okay. I did things because I trained my mind over years and decades to learn how to do things. So I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying this to give you a sense of possibility. You know, if you look at security, my wife and I made a decision when we were 28 years old, we would be mortgage free forever. We've been mortgage free since we're 28. I'm level 51 right now. Now, again, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you that that was a mind. Now, did we have a 5,000 square foot palace when we were 28? No, but we had a home with no stress on that. No stress, right? Some people, it's money is hard to get. How many of you have been told you got to fight for money? You got to go grab money. You got to work 1 million hours for money. You got to work for it. And you've been programmed that if you don't work, but money comes in, you should feel bad. You're lazy. You didn't earn it. I earned money with my mind for years and years and years, right? By product of mindset. Yeah. Now, retirement. I want a comfortable retirement, right? A comfortable retirement. I don't know. I mean, if that's one of your values, it is. You want that. Maybe it's not what you want. Maybe not comfortable. Maybe better than comfortable. And then family, right? I struggle to provide for my family's immediate needs. Family's needs. Have any of you, I'll talk to the men here. Have any of you turned into your dad? What do you think? I own the utility company? What do you think? I own the bank? Did any of you catch yourself? You're like your dad? What do I look like? I got a money tree? You got to work hard for this, right? My husband every day. Yeah. Yeah. Because unfortunately, these values were handed to him. And, you know, my dad used to tell me, he used to say, you know, money doesn't grow on trees. And I believe that. And then I built a company that was at that time doing $10 million. I said, Dad, this was all wrong. If I had orange trees, lemon trees, apple trees, I could pull them right off and sell them for money. Money grows on trees everywhere. He just didn't know that because that's what his dad taught him and his dad taught him. Oh, money grows on trees everywhere. Guess the number one. How many of you want a money tree? Type in chat bar money tree. You want a money tree? Just produce money for you? Cool. You already have it. You're the money tree. Your thinking is the money tree. You just don't know how to align your thinking today compared to the thinking you're programmed with. Now, what could your values be with mind growth? Opportunity. I mean, when I was building companies, every place I went, didn't matter if it was the grocery store. Let's see if Dwayne probably heard me say this before, if he's still on here, or someone else probably heard me. If I went to a grocery store, to a seminar, to a trade show, I only went there and didn't leave until I found one thing. Does anybody know? I didn't leave until I found one thing. Type in the chat bar what it was. Let's see if anybody here knows. Okay, I'll just give it to you because we have a lot to do. $1 million idea. Everywhere I went, I did not leave until, oh, Anthony's on here, until I got a $1 million idea. The minute I got the 1 million idea, I didn't need anything else. I left and then I created another million. Now, another mindset is wealth, right? Wealth. Wealth comes effortlessly. How does that feel to live in a state like that? Like money comes every. Now, you may not believe it today, but that's why you don't have it. The minute you believe it, you'll have it. Or freedom daily. Freedom daily, right? I never want to retire. The day I retire, I'm dead. Why would I? Because if there's something I hate, I'm going to find the quickest way to stop doing it. I promise you. Now, it doesn't mean I have to quit it today, but I'm going to find a way to quit that sucker tomorrow or the next day or a year from now or 3 years from now. I am not going to live doing something I hate, right? And maybe about this for a value. How many of you want this? Generational wealth. Generational wealth. And I think there's like this, everybody. Right? There's this first part where you say to yourself, I just want safety, right? I just want a little bit of safety in my mind, knowing you could produce money at will. Then all of a sudden you go here and it's like security. I just want to know that I have financial security. I could do what I want, where I want, with who I want without any worries about time and money. And then you go here and you go, you know what? I want generational wealth. That's it. You know what I want? I'll show you. Generational mind growth. That's what I want. That's part of why I've written 17 books so far. We got another one that's coming out, which led up to this, Mind Power, that's coming out. I want generational mind growth. So you could break every boundary for every generation to come. How does that feel? Type in an emotion in the chat bar. How does that feel to you? How does that feel? And then we'll talk about right now how to think differently. When we encounter a situation in life, it causes us to shift, right? Our growth mindset or fixed mindset. The key is when you realize it, can you shift out of the fixed mindset? Draw this out. Let's do it together. Here's what we have, our life, right? We have our life. And then guess what? We get a nice little situation. Any of you get to deal with a situation, right? And then you identify, wait a minute, this situation. Do I have a fixed mindset on this? Like, do I have a fixed mindset on this situation? And you start to think to yourself, hang on, you realize you're in a fixed mindset. And you immediately go, wait a second, I got to reset this sucker, right? I got to create a sense of reset. And I got to get here to mind growth. Now, I just gave you the easiest thing and the toughest thing in the world to do, everybody. The easiest thing and the toughest thing to do. The easiest thing that I gave you is now you know how to escape pain, torture, punishment in your mind. The difficult thing is now you just got to remember to do it and go for mind growth. Now, if you look here, the same thing, and we talk about our life, don't redraw it again. Stay with your one diagram. We have a situation, right? We have mind growth, and we have fixed mindset, and all of a sudden, boom, something happens. Now, there's a couple things that help you course correct from fixed mindset to mind growth. One, learning new strategies. You're here to learn new strategies, right? You're here to learn new strategies. The next thing is learning from others who have done it before. Now, there's people that have done it that can do it and they don't know how to do it again. There's people that have done it and keep doing it. There's people that have done it that keep doing it and teach how to do it, right? Now, the other thing is reminding yourself of the highest values. Live within your values. Live within your values. I'm watching some people in the world, they're really wealthy. They tell people they're really happy and they're really sad. And they're only happy when they're creating and they're making money, but their value is love and they're not getting it from the money they're creating. So they're living in the state of escaping, and instead of getting back to themselves, they get caught in a matrix of some kind, right? And what happens is they're creating, you start to say to yourself, wait a minute, let me create a new plan that inspires you, And if anybody's telling you this is like a one-time thing, 10-minute thing, I haven't figured that out. It's been a 3-decade thing for me, a 3-decade thing. I'm only here because if this triggers one thing for one of you, that's going to be awesome for me. Now, setbacks. All right, setbacks here. This shit happens. I've been through it. I've had the lawsuits, you name it. I've been through it, right? $1 million lawsuit. I didn't even know how I was going to pay it. It wasn't even my fault. They even told me it wasn't your fault, but they had to get paid from someone. Now, setbacks can pull you back if you let it. It could pull you back. A couple minutes ago, I'll tell you, I gave you something that I hope all of you will embrace it. It also can propel you forward like you've never experienced. When I had a setback, I don't know what year ago it is, because the service company, we went from under $1 million to 32 million in less than 10 years. We had a setback around 10 million. And then we went from 10 million to, I think, 16.5 million in 1 year, $6.5 million growth. Now that back then, man, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. And that was then we had another setback, bunch of bullshit, lawsuit, this and that. We did a $3.5 million month. That was a big deal. You know what made the difference? I remember saying to my partners back then, we could do two things: cry or get motivated. Now, it's probably been helpful that I've been doing martial arts for 3 decades, right? So I've been trained to take a lot of punishment and keep moving forward. So it's better to move forward than sit there and get kicked in the face, right? Cry or get motivated. That's right. So I just said, like, you want to cry or you want to get motivated? We got motivated and we went to double-digit profit, 32 million, and then roughly a little over 4.5 years ago, I sold that $32 million company. That's based off of pain into propulsion, just so you know, right? The only true failure, and this is probably not new to you, but maybe it's awakening again for you, is something you don't learn from and grow from. Right now, every time someone is telling you the story of the last 2 years of a pandemic, you should tell them, thank you for the motivation. Thank you for the reminder of the motivation. I looked at all these companies having problems. This makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. When pain's coming in, you don't stand there and take the pain. You build a plan to go around the damn pain. You move away from the pain. Tell me what your big takeaway is from setbacks, everybody. What's your big takeaway from setbacks? A fixed mindset is not permanent. When you find yourself in a fixed mindset and you're living the result of that mindset, you can stop it and ask, how do I get back to mind growth from here? How do I move? Now, sometimes you need someone to do it. Sometimes you got to go, what we used to say, you need your mind changed? I'll see you in the dojo tonight. A dojo is a place where you go to train. See you in the dojo tonight. I'll let you punch the heavy bag until you either black out or vomit or bleed all over the place. We'll change it. You'll grow. Now, not everybody should have to do that to grow, right? You shouldn't have to do that to grow. All right. Let's build some action plans here together if it's cool with you guys. Now, actions come from mind growth. And tonight, I just want you to consider a couple things here. One, what is an outcome that you want? The outcome you see. See, most people never define the outcome. They go, I want more money. And I used to make a funny joke with people. I'd say, who wants more money? And everybody raises their hand. And I would go, oh, okay, cool. Here's $1. We're done. Go home. And then they'd laugh and go, ah. I go, well, you said you wanted more money. We're done. I said, no, I want more than that. So I'd give a guy another $1. Oh, good. There you go. We're better now. I said, no, I want more. Well, how much more? When? Why? What's the outcome you want? You will always struggle with it. And write this down. You'll always struggle with an undefined outcome. You'll always struggle with an undefined outcome. People tell me, oh, I want my bank account to have about, 100 to 200,000 in. I said, do you want 100 or 200,000? Because your mind can't attain what it's confused about. Write that down, everybody. Your mind cannot attain what it's confused about. It can't. 100,000 or 200,000. And you know what? Here's one thing you should know about me. First off, I'm not impressed if you have 100 million or a billion. You get sick like the rest of us and you crap in a toilet bowl. Like, I am not impressed. Put me next to a billionaire, you're a nice guy. I'm going to say nice guy. Nice to meet you. I'm not impressed. If you're looking for someone to kiss your feet or kiss a ring on your finger, I'm the wrong dude to do it. Because I'm impressed about someone who loves their life. I'd rather meet a broke ass guy that loves his life, loves his family, loves his kid, and goes, my life's amazing, than a rich ass person who thinks that they're the cat's meow and they think everyone else is below them. Right? I'm not impressed. You shouldn't be impressed too. Write this down, everybody. My wife and I were talking about this before. My beautiful wife's on there. You'll see her in the chat bar there. We talk about this all the time. Like, one of the most dangerous things you could do in life is put someone else on a pedestal above yourself. Write that down. You put someone else on a pedestal above you, you now look at yourself as below. You shouldn't look at yourself above or below, just as a human for yourself, trying to get somewhere else. So what's an outcome you want? Maybe you want to get more money, you have to think different about money. That's different. That's probably an outcome you might choose. Think different about money. Or maybe create personal wealth. And personal wealth is mind wealth, right? Personal wealth is mind wealth. Maybe you want to create that mind growth wealth, right? Now, what is the action you got to take? Well, look, an action to think different about money is you got to understand. Let me give you a tip, everybody. You ready? Let me give you a tip. And Nathaniel, I'll type in what you need clarity on real quick, and I'll get back to that. Type in the chat bar, I need clarity on this subject, and we'll address it. Here's the thing. Money, write this down, everybody. Money is energy. And your mind creates energy. There you go. My wife typed it in. You have in you whatever it is you see that person you put on a pedestal. Beautiful. Exactly. Money is energy, and your mind creates energy, which means your mind can create money as long as it understands that money and wealth is energy, right? It's not a transfer of money. It's a transfer of energy. Bigger training, bigger day probably, right? Okay, now maybe the other one to mind growth is maybe learn how to create, right? Create wealth. This is why, oh my God, that's so mushed up there. You cannot mush up the word wealth. Okay, there we go. This is why I have been on this quest, right? This is why I've been on this quest that to change the world, we have to get everybody to 20x themselves, the way they think, the way they process, their values, their positions, their knowledge, all this. Now, what's the result you'll get? Well, look, the minute you eliminate financial worry, right? You'll eliminate financial worry. You'll be free to create at will. The minute you eliminate financial worry, you'll create at will. And for the learn to create wealth, you'll be able to pursue anything financial you want. You'll be able to pursue anything financial you want. Opportunities, whatever it is, whatever it is. Okay. We got about 8 minutes or so left. If I did a great job, okay, and I love to frame this always because a lot of you have been in my world and some of you are new, okay? I do have a training that's coming up in January. If I could have permission to share it, just type in share it. If not, I'll tell you that I just want to know what your big takeaway from the training is tonight. And if you're not interested in it, it's cool. I'm not here. Everybody knows me that's ever been in my life. I don't sell anything. I have an opportunity. I'm going to do the training no matter what. And if it's a fit for you, then cool. If it's not, it's cool too. I won't be offended. And I'm not here to force anybody to do anything. Okay. First, give me your big takeaway from tonight's training. What's the one thing that stood out for you that gave you a new level of confidence, a new action, a new decision? Because that's, and I realize anybody that's new in my world, you know, I go fast and furious. You'll be able to go back and take notes. We'll make sure we give this replay to you guys. We'll upload it somewhere so you could go back and go. I'd rather move fast and give you a ton because I know a lot of people do training. They tell it's 90 minutes. They tell 3 stories, you get away, you got no action. That sounds like entertainment to me. You could go do that shit on Netflix later. Okay. I want it to be a lot of great information for you. Reset. Perfect. Suffering is a choice. Money is energy and your mind is energy. Yeah. There's so good. Yep. Not about controlling, but understanding. Okay. 6 pages of takeaways. All right. Awesome. All right. Make sure you take those takeaways and build them into action items, please. All right. Here's what we got happening, everybody. Unlocking the wealth code. We've done this training before, and this one is called Limitless. I built the trainings for what I feel the human mind, what a human person needs to raise their potential, okay? And Limitless is where we're at based on the opportunity of the world. Yeah, you could become limitless here. So this unlocking the wealth code, let me tell you a little bit about this wealth growth, this wealth mind growth model here. First, there's people with no wealth, right? And then there's some people with individual wealth. And this is fun. This is fun. And then there's family wealth, right? I found out when I started to look at the levels, my brain started to solve the next level. I clearly was here as an electrician in the field. I'm going to let some of you that are new on here, when you see in the picture of me in front of a van, like I physically know how to do electrical work. I know how to climb through an attic, go through a crawl space. And if your lights go out, I can fix that shit really, really good. Okay. I don't do it no more, but I could still do it. But my goal was to go to individual wealth. I wanted money for myself. I didn't want to tell my kids they had to, you couldn't get that sneakers or we can't eat healthy food. I didn't want to do that. Once we got to that, I knew my brain was like, well, you know what? Let's go for family wealth. This is going to be wealth that will expand in our immediate family. And then I did this. I said this, I want generational wealth for the next 10 generations or more, generational wealth. And then I have, I don't want to say gifted because I did it myself. Nobody gave it to me. I don't want to use the word lucky because it had nothing to do with luck because I had a lot of experience paying into propulsion. But I've been able to reach generational wealth now for almost a decade, I guess, almost a decade, right? But this is cool for you to know because if you don't know that there's a journey, how the hell are you going on a journey? And a lot of people are going to tell you, and I'll share this. I've shared this before with people that have been in my world. They go, Mike, money is not everything. And I go, yeah, I get it. Perfectly well said from a broke ass individual. It may not be everything, But man, you could help a lot of people in the world when you have money versus being broke. You could feed people. You could help your parents, like if they have a problem. You could do a lot of things when you have it. You can make donations. When you don't have it, you can't help the amount of people you want. Now, here's the Unlocking the Wealth Code training. All right. So your personal wealth, right, is based on your mindset. And most people have limiting beliefs about money. You tell me, is that, type in true in the chat bar if that's true, right? I mean, a lot of people have limiting beliefs about money because they were brought up in it. It's not just about investments. It's about energy. I'll promise I'll teach you about energy. I know a lot about energy and how to create it into money and wealth. Just imagine how more amazing life could be if you had a total control over your wealth. I mean, every one of you is a wealth creator today because your mind is changing. In Unlocking the Wealth Code, we'll talk through proven steps. We'll do all this good stuff. Massive personal wealth. You will not view the world in the same way again after this training. Guaranteed. I hope you're viewing the world different today. I hope you change some lenses today. And in our last training, we generated, people generated over 2.4 million in personal wealth during the training, okay? We have intense stuff we'll be teaching. You won't be left behind. We'll answer everything. We made it really convenient for all parts of the world, okay? It's 3 weeks and it's 6 sessions, okay? It's interactive, it's not recorded. So I promise you, it's not gonna be one of those things you show up and I put a recording and act like I'm there. I don't do that type of stuff. I love being here with you and interacting with you. We'll have workbooks, homework, group work to lock in the insights. I promise, unless you've done a training like this, and some people have. So if you've done Unlocking the Wealth Code, can you type in what your experience is with that? And we have 3 simple levels. It's real simple for everybody that's here. Silver level, real simple. Right now, we're given 2 tickets because I think becoming wealthy alone makes no sense. And I think you got to become wealthy together. So it's either, husband and wife, or maybe it's a father and son, or a mother and daughter. Wealth is created individually first, and then it's aligned second with everyone else. Okay, we'll do a private Facebook group. We'll make sure we do a pre-event session, get your brain working the way it has to be. There'll be a 10-day post-event training to focus, to embed the skill sets in you so you don't learn and then it falls off. We're going to learn and then maintain it so it grows. And there'll be a digital event package. It's only $19.95. So we should, hopefully you've already created something tonight that's worth more than that to you. If not, we will do it on that training. The gold ticket, pretty simple. Look, 2 tickets. Again, we're going to keep that for a little while, but this is not one of those you show up and there's 5,000 people on it. It's an intimate group. We dig down, we get to know each other. We enhance our energy and everything together. The main difference in this is you're getting these bonus packages. We got a life power package. It's 3 hours of training. So if you're someone who just wants to consume and grow, and it comes with an energy power package. It's got 3 hours training on energy of me teaching stuff there. It's $2,995. Pretty simple, everybody. And then platinum is only a fit for one reason in platinum. Well, 2 reasons. There's 3 reasons. 1, we have a wealth power package. So there's 5+ hours of training. Okay. You're already going to have so much fucking training to implement on. That's not a big deal for you guys. It's a bonus, but not a big deal. The event recording, that's a big deal. So you can keep enhancing the skill. And this one, a one-on-one breakthrough session with me about energy and your energy. And we could spend that time together solving an energy block or anything. I think that is a big deal. My time is worth a whole lot more than $4,995, just so you know. Pretty much if I speak for someone today on stage, I'm not at the highest rate, but I am at 25,000 an hour. So I'm pretty proud of that. That means they value what the hell I got to say. And if it's an online Zoom for an hour, it's normally 15,000, roughly around there. So, you know, that is a value, but only do that if you think that you have some kind of real energy, you know, mind block shit that you need, and you want to spend 1 hour with me focusing on life stuff like that. That's it, guys. The question is always like, you know, how fast do you want to move on that stuff? I'm here to serve all of you. And I will open it up in one section. If there is a question, there is a link there. An elevated life starts with mind growth. And I think this is a really cool picture. Here's what I'm a big believer in, just so all of you know. I am a huge believer in taking things that remind me of the thing I'm becoming, right? Taking things that remind me of the thing that I'm becoming. So like an elevated life starts with mind growth. You might want to take a little snapshot of this picture, put it next to your bed, make it the last thing you see before you go to bed, the first thing you see when you wake up. So you're immediately, or maybe put it on your iPhone as a screensaver. So all throughout the day, you're reminded mind growth. So when you get some bullshit in your way or craziness in life or you setbacks, you're like, wait, what do I got to do to grow my mind right now? Okay. So those of you, super great time hanging with you guys. If you're interested in the training, the link is there. Love to have you join us. Did I go through the dates? Aaron, I don't think I talked about the dates on this. Let me show.
I don't think so.
Yeah, let me share this really quick with you guys. Hang on 1 minute. Don't go anywhere yet, because I didn't share the dates, and I think you probably want to see the dates here to make sure it fits your lifestyle. And I'll tell you why I picked the dates too, because it was strategic, because they're saying, hey, Shane, what's happening, brother? Nice to see you. I didn't realize how many of you were jumping on here. Okay, cool. Let me show this to you real quick, everybody. And then you could click it and go poke around and, you know, read this thing all night long. So the session, it starts in January 18th, and it's the 18th to 20th, the 25th and 27th, and the 1st and the 3rd. The reason we did that, because one, I know you probably got a lot of stuff in life that you got to clean up, get ready. And also, Aaron, maybe type in the date. They can hold the date. I know we didn't post it yet. We have another free webinar coming up that helps set you ready for the new year. So I wanted to give you guys some more free training. So I'm hoping you'll do the free training to get you to move faster with me, if that's cool, on this training. That's why the dates, excuse me, we waited for the 18th to do it. It's also Eastern time. It's 7 p.m. to 9:30. Okay. So is this, no, it's a live stream. It's going to be here, Stephen, because we have so many people in Australia and New Zealand. So we're going to do it live. I do have plans to do in person something. If you're into that, type in if you're into in person. It would be in New Jersey though, by the beach. So we do have some plans to maybe do something going into the new year on that. You guys can scroll through the page here. You could click a link. We are putting limitations on it. You can watch a little video. I talked to you about it. You can read about some cool things Jay Abraham says about me. You'll just feel like, oh, Mike's really cool then, I guess. There's some testimonials of some other people who did the training. A little quote from Kevin O'Leary. You can check that out on this link later. Some other people who did the training. And then you just scroll down, and this has some good information, especially if you're one of those people that needs to ponder to decide. I'm one of those people that I ponder really quick and decide like very, very fast, because if I want to do something, I'm like, I'm going to do it and commit to it. And I know there's a lot of wealth opportunity coming up in 2022, and you're either have your energy aligned with it or your energy's against it, one or the other. here is the thing, the last thing, I'll read about it. And if you have a question, you could, I broke it in when Mike had, what is that, power of now? Oh, okay. This training is guaranteed.
Room.
The what, babe?
Dwayne's beach house room.
Yeah. Dwayne, we have a beach house just to do some events out, and it's all ready, except for one room. It's Dwayne's room, so you can't have that room. But here's the deal: the training's guaranteed. So if you do attend the first 2 sessions and you think, you know what, it's not for me, I feel weird, I feel like I'm going to make too much money too fast and it scares the shit out of me or whatever, it's all cool. You come to us, there won't be no hard feelings. We'll just give your money back. I've never given money back like that, but I will, because I promise we'll exceed your expectations. All right, cool. I don't want to keep you guys any longer. It's 8:36. I appreciate all of you. Love you guys. I am rooting for you in 2022. Keep an eye out for the next free webinar coming up in a couple weeks. And I hope you'll join me on Unlocking the Wealth Code. Have a great night, everybody. Boom.